going on a walk, but no one's home, so gonna lock the door with the key. Feels kind of eerie down here with just the one light. Especially if I turn off. Oh wait, I can't turn off that light from down here. All right, anyways, let's head out. All right, let's go ahead and. Oh wait, wrong way. There we go. Cool. Door locked. So, Keziah mainly. Goldfish. There's a little star. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a tiny, tiny star. Okay, so today, there's actually a decent amount to talk about today. So first of all, okay, where do I start? School was pretty easy. Midstream, my dad said, hey, I'll be home at 10. We can go to Cartersville and drive to the gym. I was like, oh, okay. So he came home, not to Cartersville. First, there was a crash on the interstate, so I got to trudge through that. Not bad, honestly. I'm not annoyed at, like, traffic or having to wait. Like, he's always like, oh, this is gonna take forever. I don't care. All I have to do is sit in the car. It's not really painful or anything, so. But I think it's kind of fun, honestly. I like driving. And then, got off there, had to wait at a yield sign for, like, 3 minutes. Because all the people who went around to avoid the interstate crash were getting back onto the interstate there. Because it was right off the interstate exit. So, it went off the interstate and on. So all the people came around, were going onto the interstate where it was clear. So, tons of people there. Both directions, left and right. But once I got off there, then a fun little thing happened. Still some more traffic and like a lot of backups and turn lanes. But at Cartersville, you drive over a train track to get to Main Street. Or, no, on Main Street there's a train track. You drive over it. So then, earlier it said, Main Street blocked train. I was like, why would it be blocked? Trains don't block a road. They hold it up for like 1 to at most 7 minutes if it's insanely long. So you don't need a sign saying that. Then we got there and realized the train wasn't moving. I was like, oh, that makes more sense. So I pulled the left, was trying to go down around the train. So, oh look, the back of the train. It's almost there. So we're gonna go just left and go around. And then, so like, cool. Then it started moving. I'm like, oh crap, it's moving, hold on. So we did a U-turn, and then came back that direction to the place where we normally cross over the train tracks. And then it stopped again. So like, okay. Kind of just juked us there. So we actually ended up going around over the bridge to get over the train. And obviously once we got over, the train cleared out, because, that's just our luck, as they say. So that was fun. Had a little bit of traffic stuff. Yeah. Got our drink. I said 1 shot of blackberry. He put 3 shots of blackberry in it, so that shit was blackberry. It's good though. I never really taste the blackberry. Like, I could tell when it's not blackberry. It's really just syrup with a slight flavoring of blackberry. So it just tastes like less sweet when it's a shot of blackberry. But with the 3 shots, I could actually, it wasn't just like corn syrup, it actually had a flavor to it. So that was interesting. Blackberry tastes good. Slightly weird, but good. Mine has been weird because there was so much sugar in it. I mean, the frap I get is literally basically just ice cream. Liquefied ice cream. And it's good. Obviously. I mean, why wouldn't it be? So yeah. Went home. Got ready, went to the gym. A little bit of traffic on the way there, not terrible. Did some climbs. There's just one kid. This dad, he has 2 kids. Typically he brings both. This time it was just the one. This dumbass cannot stop looking at me. I get, like, kids, why do they stare at people? And this one's special. So, you know how kids, like, stare at people because they're weird? So that's annoying. Like, stop looking at me. Then, this kid likes to especially look at me for no reason. I'll like be casually going back and forth between the gym, trying to avoid him, and he'll follow me subtly. Well, not really that subtly, but subtly in his mind. And he'll stare at what I'm doing. He's like, stop looking at me. Oh my God. One time I even said, can you stop looking at me? So there's, let's say this is the gym area. So there's the entrance from this side, the 45-degree wall, so climbing stuff, and then a gym on this side. I was in the gym just sitting over here. His dad was looking at the stuff over there. He was sitting on the bench, like his head turned like 150 degrees, staring at me. Like, what the fuck are you looking at? I am just sitting down. You're turning your head the entire opposite direction to look at me. You are so weird. He's not like a 7-year-old. He's like 12, maybe 11 to 12. So he's this weird ass kid. His dad can't stop him. His dad looks like he has depression or something. He's like skinny and always looks super sad and talks monotonously. If you don't know what monotonous means, it's monotone. So voices that are kind of like this, they're really slow and they don't have much expression or anything. So he always talks like that. And then, thankfully, the other kid's fine. The only one, ironically. But that kid is so annoying, bro. It looks like he's always trying to flex or something. Doing harder climbs, like, I don't give a shit. Can you just go away? But then other kids, like, I know that he stared at me when I was doing nothing once. But some other kids, I intentionally don't do anything in front of kids now. I'll just stand still so they don't get any interest in me. I'll do one thing, and then I'll just go sit in the gym. They'll just sit up in the playground area looking over me for like 3 minutes while I just rest, staring at me, do nothing. Like, what the hell are you looking at? There is nothing over here. They're just waiting for me to do something else. They don't have the concept of coming back to it because he's taking a break. They don't understand that. It's so weird. I hate kids in so many ways, bro. Kids just suck. Kids are so annoying. Oop, car. What's funny, I actually had this thought earlier. I was thinking about talking about it on the podcast and I came to a conclusion. So I figured I wouldn't talk about it. And then I realized, I could talk about it now, I guess. So, I had the thought, would I be a good father? Because yes, I would. If I had a kid, I would be a good father. But I don't want kids. I hate kids. But does that make me a bad father, the fact that I hate kids? Or a good father because I would be good at fathering? That's the curious thing. Is it based on my skill? Or is it based, is the factor that I hate kids affecting that? And would I hate my own kid? I probably would hate my own kid. Does that make me a bad father? What is considered a father? What is considered a good father? Alright, let's break it down. I don't know how much time, so I'll just break it down fast. So a father is someone who has a child. They're a child by blood. Or adoption, obviously. So, legally their child. Ooh, there's a cat. I'm gonna scare you away. What do you think you're doing? 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 Oh, it's so fun to do. Anyways, so a good father is considered someone who raises their kid well, teaches them well, educates them, takes care of them, loves them, I think is thrown in there. Even though technically you can raise a kid super well, even if you hate them. If you get past your hate and just raise them well. The love part, that's all on you. That's not actually about the kid. Now, I think that's another instance of if I tell them, it'll make it bad. If I don't tell them, it won't matter. Because, if you hate them but never mention it, in their eyes, you're a good father. You raise them well, and they think you love them. But if you tell them you hate them, I mean, you're still a good father, right? Or would you not be a good father? Would you consider a bad person and a bad father together because you raised a kid but you actually hate them? I mean, if anything, you're really good because you raised a kid that you hated. That's like an impressive feat. Okay, you know what? Because no one's home, I'll just continue the podcast walking around my house. So, yeah, how does that work? Are you considered a better or a worse person / father because you raised someone you hate? Oh, man. This is tough. Give me a pee out. There we go. Hi, Mark. Hi. You're not getting anything. I don't know what you want. Oh, you got a toy. Okay. Oh, no, you gave up. Cool. So, good father. Oh, this is a weird one. Because if you think good father, you don't think of loving. I mean, you might think of loving a kid, but it's not like a requirement or anything. So, thinking you're a good father, this is weird. You may be considered a bad person once they know you. That's weird, because, like, you don't initially consider loving the kid, really. I mean, it matters, I guess, but you don't really consider it as being a good father. But once it's known that you hate your kid, that could make you a bad father. So a factor that wasn't initially considered is now affecting the decision. Isn't that kind of strange? Like, that's just a weird thing, you know? This is tough. Well, I'm thinking, let me show my LEDs real quick. I think I've showed you this before. But look, looks like it's daytime. Or this one. Boom, it's daytime, but it's not daytime. I like to stick with red because I use it as like a night light. I'll turn it off when I get in bed. And red is the least offending on your eyes and doesn't mess with your sleep cycle as much. Circadian rhythm, you know. So, good father. Oh, this is tough. Well, I think it's not a factor of, I don't think it's affecting whether it makes you a father or not, but I do think it affects your relationship in general. Like, you're not considered a bad father if you don't love your kid. Well, I don't know, you might be. So you may or may not be considered a bad father. I'd say that's up for debate. I'm not sure you can really reason that one. But as for, like, it will obviously affect your relationship. If you don't love your kid, that's obviously a bad thing for you and your family. But I don't think it affects your skills of being a father. Because say, like, you have another kid. What if you happen to love that one? And you raise them well, you're a good father. So, I don't know if... Yeah, I think that's debatable, honestly. I don't typically have conclusions that are debatable. But I think that one is, because what other option is there? Like... Oh, man, I don't know. This is tough. Good father. I think it's more of something you expect it. You expect, obviously, the father to love the kid. So it's weird when you don't. And I think, by definition, a father doesn't have to love their kid. In fact, abusive fathers, it's common. It's not a given. In fact, it's very frequent that they don't love their kid. So, or they just abandon their kid, you know? Okay, anyways. So I think loving isn't necessarily a given for a father. You can have a bad father who doesn't love you, or a good father who doesn't love you. Think of that. There's examples of people who were raised well, but their father doesn't love them, you know? Or mother. I don't know why. I'm specifying father because I'm applying this to myself, but this can apply to mother or father or non-binary parents if you want to be like that. So, goodness. I think that the loving part doesn't matter. I think it's how you raise the kid. Okay, here's another weird one. What if the father abuses the mother, but not the kid? Because then they'd be a bad... Well, it's perspective, isn't it? Because your father, let's say you're a kid, you have a father who abuses your mother, but not you. And they raise you well. So they're a good father because they raise you well. But they can also, you could say, they're a bad father. That's a role. That's the problem. We can't assign the role to them. So now we have to change it to the action. Are you good at fathering? That's the question. That's the new question. That good at fathering, I don't believe implies love. Fathering is how you raise the kid, right? That's solely what fathering is. So I think, are you good at fathering is the best way to ask the question. That applies to everything. And am I good at fathering? I would say I am. Or would be. At least I'm not having a kid. Those are really bright on video, but in person they're super dim and they're orange. And once I boost the brightness... Oh, yeah. I boost the brightness on my videos so you can see in the dark. but it'll be super bright inside, so maybe I won't. Mark, come here. Mark. So, I don't know. Good at fathering, that's a father, so that's the problem. Fathering is what we really need, but a father, come on, is someone who fathers. But a father is also just a role. So the problem came from the fact that father is both fathering and you have a child and you're a male. That's where the issue was. We were trying to define two different things. But obviously you can't define two different things at a time. It doesn't work. I hate when that happens. I've actually done that a lot in thought processes. I was going off of one term, which is actually like goes to two different things, and obviously can't do that. So yeah, good at fathering. Now whether you're a bad father, it depends on which role you take, as in the role version of father or the person who fathers. That's where I think it becomes necessary. Now, as the fact, aside from the hating part, I don't know why we went there, but the fact that I don't want kids, but I'll be good at raising them, I'll be a good fathering, but I'll be a bad father to them. No, I don't. That's weird. I think I was named one kids. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed. Bye.